Yo, what's up guys? Back with another video, back with another banger. Today we're back with another Bible study. Today we're continuing with Genesis 1. If you've been up to date with the channel, you'll know we've been doing a study on Genesis chapter 1 and we've been going verse for verse, you know? So, yeah, this is the 13th video. You can kind of say it's episode 13 of season 1. Um, so today we're looking at Genesis 13. Genesis 1, verse 13. Let me read it for you guys first so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, it says, "It was evening, it was morning, the third day." Okay, day 3. That's what my version says. It's the NSG. The evening, no, it was evening, it was morning, day 3. Okay, so, but the version that I have on my computer is the NIV, that I used to study. Okay, and that this version says, "And the evening and the morning were the third day." Basically the same thing. This just says that, this verse basically just says this is the end of the third day. So the third day was the creation of dry land, like, yeah, dry land and the seas. It's the day where God decided, hey, let me separate the dry land from the sea. So He kind of laid the foundation for the land, and it's also where He created grass and herbs and seeds and plants. What was the word that I used in the last video? He created vegetation, that's the word. He created vegetation, basically. So this is the creation of geography, vegetation, everything. Um, yeah, so like the mountains, I think it was the mountains. I'm pretty sure it was the mountains that in this day 3 that he created the mountains. So yeah, that's just a recap of what happened in the third day. So this verse just says it's the end of the third day. Let's go to my notes. And my note says, in every verse so far, these words were with the verse where the thing comes to be and God says it. So basically, I was like wondering to myself, why is this part of the verse and evening and the morning were the end of this day? Um, and if you go check with all the previous verses where it concludes the day, this part is like it's part of the verse that says, because basically the way it was structured, Genesis 1 was structured, the creation was structured is God said something, it comes into existence, that's the day. So basically the part where the things come into existence is also the verse where it says, like, where it concludes the day. But here it's separate. So I was kind of like confused about that part, and I was actually thinking to myself, that's very odd, That's strange. So yeah, that's basically what I said here in my notes. So I went to go do some research using AI to my advantage, as well as Google. Yeah, AI, Google, to my advantage, as well as other resources. I'm pretty sure I used YouTube. I did this study actually a while ago, so I'm pretty sure I used YouTube videos, all that. So, like I said, I didn't say this, but this is all my interpretation of this verse. Everyone has their own interpretation. I'm not saying what I'm saying is completely true. Take it with a grain of salt, but this is just my opinion on this verse. Um, what makes sense for me, my way of thinking of this verse. So I went to AI, to Meta AI actually, to do some research about this, and this is what I got. So the separation of this verse might be emphasizing the significance of the third day, because I mean, it was the creation of the very things that we eat every single day, you know? And the day just before, I'm pretty sure was the second day was the creation of light. No, wait. Where's the second day? Oh yeah, the second day was where God separated the heavens from the earth, you know? So day 1 and day 3 was pretty like important, the things that were created, light and like vegetation. So this separation might actually highlight the importance of what happened on this day, vegetation as a foundation for the subsequent days. The third day's creation, which is vegetation, is closely tied to the fourth day's creation, the sun, moon, and stars. We'll get into that in the next video. The separation of Genesis 1 verse 13 might be foreshadowing inter the interconnectedness of these 2 days and the subsequent creation of the heavenly bodies, because we know that plants need the sun and nutrition that it provides to live. So yeah, that's very interesting for me. um as well as, according to Meta, um the number 3 symbolizes complete perfection or divine um completeness, completeness, perfection, or divine intervention. Jesus' resurrection was on the third day, which makes sense. Um yeah, Jesus okay, I'm getting actually a fresh revelation now. Jesus' resurrection, right, was on the third day. Jesus says that he is the bread of life. What is bread made out of? Wheat. What is wheat? It's a plant. I don't know what to do with that. I might actually have to go deeper into this verse. I just realized that now. But that's very interesting. That is very interesting. And yeah, so basically Jesus' resurrection on the third day demonstrates his power over death and sin, showcasing God's glory. You know? So in a way you could kind of see this as foreshadowing. Um yeah, I mean, you can kind of think of, like, when you think about plants, you think about like health, and you think about things that bring life. Good health brings life. When you think about plants, you think about peace. you know and when Jesus rose on the third day, that's what he brought peace, he brought healing, he brought, so he this actually connects very closely and actually very nicely into Jesus' resurrection, how he rose on the third day, and on the third day vegetation was made. That's very interesting. And actually, it helps us to see Jesus even in this chapter alone, even just in this verse, from the very verse, from the 13th verse, like the very first chapter of the Bible. Keep in mind, this book, Genesis, was written thousands and thousands, probably millions of years before Jesus was born. And it spoke about, it's just very coincidental. I don't think it's a coincidence, but it's just very interesting how on the third day, the things that Jesus came, um, what Jesus gave us when he resurrected, when he came back to life, things that he gave us. It's very interesting that it's the very same things that was already here. And like, you guys understand what I mean? Like plants and stuff, if you think about it, it represents like peace, it represents healing, you know? And uh on the third day when Jesus rose, he gave us back our healing, our peace. He gave us the ability to find our peace in him, our healing in him. So now our healing is not in plants anymore. Our healing is in him. Our peace is not in nature anymore. Our peace is within him. We can find peace in him. We can find rest in him, in Jesus. When Adam and Eve sinned, we'll get into that in season 3 if you want to speak, like, think of it like that. But we'll get into that when we get to chapter 3. But that is very interesting as well for me. How, like, when Adam and Eve, when they sinned, they lost kind of that healing, and they needed to start using plants and stuff for healing, to make medication and all that, and their peace, they lost their sense of peace that's found in God, their sense of healing that's found in God, their sense of rest that is found in God. God even cursed them to the point where they have to go and actually harvest the feel. It wasn't done for them anymore, you know? So it's very interesting that when what we lost in the beginning with the fall of man, Adam and Eve, was given back to us on the third day when Jesus resurrected. And on the third day, it's very interesting. We can see Jesus actually in this verse. Um, you know, um, and it's amazing. It's really amazing. So it kind of foreshadows even victory over like unhealthiness, like victory over anything bad, victory over sin, victory of evil forces, like unhealing diseases, all that, restlessness, all that, this kind of foreshadows, if you want to, like, in a way, if you can kind of see it as I see it, kind of foreshadows that. Okay, let's continue. Genesis 1 verse 13 marks the separation between the third day's creation and the subsequent days. The separation highlights God's attention to detail. Um, the separation highlights God's attention to detail and his desire to distinguish and set things apart. So that's also interesting. The reason why this verse is set apart from verse 12, why the evening and the morning, blah blah blah, was that day, why that part is like set apart. It's kind of interesting because we know that like keeping things disorganized is very, it's difficult. If you have to like work in an unorganized area, it's not easy to work in it. So God probably just decided to tell Moses or whoever wrote the Old Testament, just separate it to make it easier to understand, you know just to keep it organized in a way, so that one verse is not like so like full of revelation, because I mean, in this verse alone, we already found so much revelation. I'll put that revelation on top of what we got previous episode. It's a lot, so I think God just decided like, hey, let's separate this so we can, I don't know, I'm not saying that's how it is, it's just very interesting. um yeah, set apart his creation. This theme is echoed in the separation of light and darkness. That's also interesting. I don't know if I mentioned this in those videos where God separated the light from the darkness, but he also, like, it's easier to work with things if they're set apart, Like, dirty clothes go there, uh, clean clothes go there, it's easier to work. Then, like, you don't have to go through all this work to figure out, is this clothes clean or is it not? Because it's in one pile. So, separation, it's easier to work with things if they are separated. Um, even just for us as well as humans, I don't think, I mean, God could very well just like very easily work with it even if it wasn't separated. I mean, he's God, almighty, all powerful. But I think just to make life easier for us, interpreting the verses as well, you know just to separate everything. I don't know, it's just, I hope you guys understand, because now when I'm explaining it, I'm making myself confused, and it's not that deep actually. um yeah, so I hope you guys understand. Let me know in the comments if you guys don't. Yeah, and I'll explain to you guys in the comments. I'll try and get to you. Well, not try, I'll definitely get back to you. um so yeah, that's basically it. um wow, yeah, that was actually a lot to get in this video, and it's just 15 minutes, guys. I've gotten better with my time. That's so nice. um but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys learned something. Man, I definitely did. Like, literally, I got a fresh revelation while recording this video, actually. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys learned something, leave a like. Comment whatever you learned. Also, comment your interpretation of the verse if you have a different opinion. Um, and let's learn from each other, Maybe I can learn something from you. Maybe you can learn something from me. Maybe we can all learn something from the next guy, So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, though. I did say leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, ring the notification bell so you know whenever I upload another video. Go check out the previous videos. Go check out my TikTok, my Instagram. my YouTube, just to make my editing, my second channel, just to make my editing job easier. Um, I'm just gonna leave my TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Just go check it in the bio actually. Um, no, not bio. Link in the description. That's it. I'm still getting used to this YouTube thing, guys. But yeah. Also, let me know what you think about the background. Um, I decided last time, I think it was last episode, where I decided let me put the guitar in the background because it was actually just there in the corner. So, potential. So I just put it there. Also put the board back there. Um, I think every time I upload another video, whenever I film a video, I'm gonna just because I put it in my window frame because I think it looks nice there. Um, so yeah, every time I'll just move it. So if you see it's not there, then it's probably in my window frame and I forgot. Also, I hanged my other board there, with a hanger. That's probably not gonna be a permanent thing, but we'll just see. But yeah, I've been yapping too long now. Yeah, peace, shalom.